Africa is often seen as one of the oldest, most stable landmasses on Earth, a continent that has witnessed the entire journey of human evolution and countless geological eras. However, modern geology has revealed a powerful and ongoing process that challenges this perception. Africa is slowly but continuously splitting into two separate continents. This is not a theory or speculation, but a scientifically observed tectonic process that is happening right now beneath the surface of the Earth. Although this separation will take millions of years to fully complete, clear evidence already exists in the form of massive cracks, earthquakes, volcanoes, and steadily widening rift valleys. The driving force behind this phenomenon is plate tectonics, the fundamental geological mechanism that shapes the surface of our planet. The Earth's outer shell, called the lithosphere, is broken into large pieces known as tectonic plates. These plates float on the semi-molten asthenosphere beneath them and move very slowly over geological time. Their movements are responsible for earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, mountain formation, and the creation and destruction of oceans. Africa is not a single solid plate. Instead, it is divided into multiple tectonic plates, the most important being the Nubian plate and the Somali plate. The Nubian plate makes up most of Western and Central Africa, while the Somali plate includes much of Eastern Africa. These two plates are slowly moving away from each other. The boundary where this separation is occurring is known as the East African Rift System. This rift is one of the most significant geological features on Earth, and stretches for thousands of kilometers, from the Afar region in northeastern Africa, down through eastern Africa toward Mozambique in the south. The East African Rift System is not a single crack, but a complex network of fractures, valleys, and faults. In this region, the Earth's crust is thinning as it is pulled apart. As the crust becomes thinner, it fractures and sinks, forming deep valleys known as rift valleys. Over time, magma from deep within the Earth rises to fill the gaps created by the separating plates, leading to volcanic activity. This is why Eastern Africa is home to some of the world's most famous volcanoes, including Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and Mount Nyiragongo. One of the clearest signs that Africa is splitting came in 2005, when a massive crack suddenly opened in the Afar region of Ethiopia. The crack was several meters wide and stretched for many kilometers. It formed in a matter of days following a series of earthquakes and volcanic activity. Scientists observed that the land on either side of the crack had moved apart by several meters almost instantly. This dramatic event provided visible proof of a process that usually happens so slowly that it cannot be seen within a human lifetime. Measurements using GPS technology showed that the Nubian and Somali plates are moving apart at a rate of a few millimeters per year. While this may seem insignificant, over millions of years it adds up to enormous distances. At this rate, scientists estimate that in about 5 to 10 million years, Eastern Africa will completely separate from the rest of the continent. When this happens, a new ocean basin will begin to form, similar to how the Atlantic Ocean formed when South America split from Africa. The Afar region is especially important in understanding this process, because it is one of the few places on Earth where a continental rift meets two oceanic rifts. It lies at the junction of the East African Rift, the Red Sea Rift, and the Gulf of Aden Rift. This makes it a unique, natural laboratory for studying how continents break apart and how new oceans are born. In this region, the Earth's crust is extremely thin, and magma is close to the surface, accelerating the rifting process. As the rift continues to widen, parts of Eastern Africa are gradually sinking. Lakes such as Lake Tanganyika and Lake Malawi exist because of this rifting process. These lakes are among the deepest in the world and are direct results of the crust pulling apart and collapsing. Over time, as the rift deepens further, seawater from the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean may flood into the Rift Valley, officially creating a new ocean. The formation of a new ocean would dramatically change the geography of Africa. Countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Somalia would eventually become part of a new continent separated from the rest of Africa by a body of water. Coastlines would be reshaped, climates would change, and ecosystems would evolve in response to the new environmental conditions. While this transformation is far beyond the timescale of human civilization, understanding it helps scientists predict long-term changes to the planet. This geological process also has immediate consequences. Earthquakes are common in the rift region due to the movement of tectonic plates. Volcanic eruptions pose risks to nearby populations but also enrich the soil, making the region fertile for agriculture. Geothermal energy is another result of this activity, and several countries in Eastern Africa are already harnessing this energy as a renewable power source. Africa splitting into two continents is not an isolated event. It is part of the same process that has shaped Earth for billions of years. The continents we recognize today are temporary arrangements in a constantly changing system. The Himalayas continue to rise as India collides with Asia. California is slowly sliding northward along the San Andreas Fault. The Atlantic Ocean continues to widen while the Pacific Ocean slowly shrinks. In this context, Africa's separation is simply another chapter in Earth's ongoing geological story. What makes this event particularly fascinating is that humanity exists at a time when this process is observable. We can measure plate movements with satellite technology, analyze seismic data in real time, and study volcanic activity in unprecedented detail. Future generations will look back at this era as the time when scientists first clearly documented the birth of a new continent. In conclusion, Africa is indeed splitting into two continents due to the movement of tectonic plates along the East African Rift System. This process is slow but relentless, driven by forces deep within the Earth. Although the final separation will take millions of years, the evidence is already visible today, in the form of rift valleys, earthquakes, volcanoes, and massive ground fractures. This phenomenon reminds us that the Earth is not static but a living, dynamic planet, constantly reshaping itself over vast spans of time.